It's 10:22. Don't feel well today at all. Okay. Ooh, it looks like there's interesting stuff on hot today. Let's stay on hot. Okay. What's the most I'm turning into my parents moment for you? My face. That's for one. That's all right. When I would get irrationally pissed off when I would come home at night and see my roommates left a spoon in the sink instead of just washing it real quick. I get that. When I would sit down and make a dad noise. Yeah, I get it. I realized at one point I had started making noises unconsciously, like sitting down or getting up. And then I realized I needed to stop doing that. Finding myself excited to go to Lowe's. Yes! As a child, I hated being dragged to that store. As an adult and a new homeowner, I totally get the appeal of buying power tools and gardening supplies to work on various home improvement projects. Actually, going to the home improvement store is like one of my favorite things now. It's true, I hated it when I was a kid. But actually, when I go in now, like I love the smell of like wood chips, whatever, wood dust that's going into my nose. I washed out the hummus container to save it in case I needed it someday. Yeah. Does anyone remember saving Dole Whip containers? Because that's what we use for Tupperware. I've always joked that my dad isn't really my father and I'm just a clone of my mom. I look like her, laugh like her, same manners, etc. Then I got the same exact health issues that she has at the exact age they began for her. This is very sad. This is very sad. Genetics is is probably the most important factor in determining your future health, so it's quite scary. My dad was a fairly tall guy. I used to hate walking with him when I was about 4 or 5 because he'd take giant steps and I basically had to jog everywhere while he dragged my hand. My son is now 4 and I caught myself doing the exact same thing about 2 months ago. Now I walk slower. This is very cute. That's so cute. Americans' unconscious bias on the basis of sexual orientation and race dropped dramatically over the past decade, but bias against people based on body weight increased. That's very interesting. I guess the past decade is only 10 years, right? So decade is only 10 years. So that's, let's say like 2008. So that's not so long ago. Okay. So maybe, I wonder if that's the result. Okay, so because sexual orientation, like pride and racial equality, that has been, I don't know, past 20 to 40 years, let's say, like started as peak and kept going. And now is like, steady, I guess I would say, like very well perceived. But maybe the big movement on body image, body positivity, self-body image or whatever, that has been something that's new, like this new, this big drama about the new Vogue cover, I think, with an obese model. I think that was kind of a big deal, right? And that's something new. And it's also something controversial because if she is obese, then she actually has a disease, medically speaking. And there's nothing wrong with body positivity, but there is something to be said about body positivity and encouraging disease, like encouraging someone who may be able to stop themselves from continuing to being obese and being proud of that. Everyone should be able to be themselves and be who they want to be. And if you want to be obese, I guess you should be allowed to be obese or be large. But I think there's just something we haven't defined yet, right? What is body positivity versus what is enablement? Yeah, and not saying that someone who's obese should be ashamed. Definitely not saying that, but also, that's interesting. It finds that attitudes about sexual orientation change the fastest. Big drop in racial bias. Okay. Age, ability, and body weight attitudes haven't changed. Actually, body weight attributes even showed a slight tendency that they're becoming worse over time. Okay, slight is not significant, but I think we've seen that anytime there's a movement in one direction, there's kind of a little bit of a a counter push in the other direction. So that might be what we're seeing here. Interesting. We have also found for explicit attitudes that all 6 attributes, sexuality, race, skin tone, age, disability, and body weight, have changed towards neutrality over the past decade. Good, because that would be nice to have a point where nobody's like, where we're not talking about discrimination anymore, where it's just like, someone said this best, where they're saying they want race to be boring. They want like women winning Oscars to be boring. They want all this stuff to be boring. Yeah, I'm also tired of discrimination. I just want everything to be over. Mueller draft report says Trump helped Putin destabilize the United States. Ouch. Ooh, that's... I don't know how much of it is a crime versus how much is just fucking terrible. Player 2 has entered the game. Ooh, this looks fun. Oh, I can't wait to see this. I love it because I love this so much because it's like unplanned joy. You know, it's like when 2 adults just start acting like children. It's the best. Like, let out your inner child more often and do wheelies in the snow parking lot, you know? Why not? Well, I'll tell you why not. That might be like a Toyota RAV4 or something, or a Jeep, which is very fuel intensive, and that shit costs money, but right. You gotta have fun still. Guys of Reddit who have slept with an unusually high amount of women, what would be your most surprising insights? Ooh, that's fascinating. At 70-ish, in late 20s, it's not worth it. I mostly use the meaningless sex to boost self-esteem, but it doesn't cure loneliness and need for emotional connection. The only sex that was worth it, in my opinion, was with girls I cared for and had an emotional connection with. I've since stopped pursuing one-night stands and have had far less sex the past 2 years, but feel much better about myself. I've noticed sex is pretty much the exact same with the majority of girls, but there are a few girls that are god tier good at sex. Those are the girls that are confident in themselves and aren't afraid to be vulnerable and express their sexuality desires. Huh. I feel the exact same way. I don't think one-night stands are enjoyable. I mean, maybe once, but generally they're fine, but it's not worth it. And to be very fairly blunt, I don't want to sleep with somebody and then the next morning have to wake up and be like, I need a shower and I want to wash my sheets because ew, stranger in my bed. I just don't want, that feeling is not nice. So yeah. Let's see what someone else says. Wrap it up every single time. Yes. Some men don't understand how pregnancy works. I don't know, I guess women as well, but I'm not that quite high, but I'm around 60, 70. And the biggest thing I'd say I've noticed from experience is the success rate for one-night stands, regardless of what you look like, is stupidly low. With that being said, it's all a numbers game, so don't be afraid to go up to whoever you find attractive and start a combo, because you will never know unless you try. If you stop being afraid of getting rejected, it's crazy how well you can do in this space. Yeah, I agree. You should always try. But with that being said, you should try like once and don't hassle the person if they're not interested. Friend of mine graduated in law school at the age of 94. Oh, that's sweet. All signs point the same way. Vladimir Putin has compromising information on Donald Trump. I mean, we know this. I don't need to read that article. The bartender making a drink. Wait until the final step. Ooh, is that some Goldschlager? Oh, some pepper. I've seen that before. Nice. Surprise me, bartender. This is fun because it's like a show. But, I mean, I'm guessing this is like a $15 cocktail, so that makes me angry. Ooh, is that Tanqueray? No, must be something. Oh, yeah, it's Tanqueray. What? Ice? Cool. Oh, all right, gotta go.